Did you know in the year 1518 people danced themselves to death? Yes, you heard it right. Imagine the quaint town of Strasbourg, France, its cobblestone streets suddenly filled with the frenzied steps of Frau Trophea. One woman dancing uncontrollably day and night until she collapsed from exhaustion. Yet she was not alone. Her peculiar ailment began to spread like wildfire, claiming more victims to its rhythmic madness. But how could such a thing happen? Stay tuned to unravel the mystery. Imagine waking up one day to find your neighbors, family or friends dancing uncontrollably in the streets. In the heart of Strasbourg, the year 1518, the bizarre phenomenon known as the dancing plague began to spread like wildfire. In the blink of an eye, it seemed as though the entire city was caught in this peculiar fever. From the bustling marketplaces to the quiet residential streets, no corner of the city was untouched. It was as if the people of Strasbourg had been bewitched, their bodies moving to a rhythm only they could hear. As the summer sun blazed on, the number of dancers multiplied. In the space of a week, close to 400 people were dancing in the streets. Day and night they moved in unison, their bodies writhing and twisting in an eerie choreography. The sight was both fascinating and terrifying, a spectacle that drew crowds from all walks of life. The public response was a mix of fear, confusion, and disbelief. Some laughed it off as a strange fad, a passing craze that would soon fade. Others, however, were not so dismissive. They saw it as a sign of something darker, a divine punishment or a demonic possession. The fear was palpable, the confusion widespread. The dancing plague was a riddle that no one could solve. Doctors, priests, and scholars were brought in to find an explanation, a cure. They observed, they hypothesized, they prayed, but to no avail. The dancing continued, relentless and unforgiving. The dancers themselves seemed lost in a trance, their eyes glazed, their bodies moving with a life of their own. It was a sight that defied reason, a spectacle that challenged the boundaries of the known world. With no scientific explanation available at the time, fear and confusion took hold. The dancing plague of Strasbourg remained an enigma, a mystery that would puzzle historians and scientists for centuries to come. As we delve deeper into this peculiar event, we'll explore the various theories that have been put forward and perhaps uncover a few surprises along the way. So, what could possibly cause a mass dancing frenzy? Let's dive into some theories. One of the most common explanations put forward is mass hysteria. This psychological phenomenon occurs when a group of people, often in close proximity, start to display irrational behaviors or beliefs. In the case of the dancing plague of 1518, it suggested that the stress of living in poverty and fear of diseases prevalent at the time could have triggered a mass psychogenic illness. The dancers were caught in a collective state of distress, their bodies expressing their anxieties in a bizarre rhythmic spectacle. A second theory points towards ergotism, a condition caused by ingesting ergot, a fungus that commonly contaminates rye and wheat. Ergotism can cause hallucinations, spasms, and even a sense of burning in the limbs. Could the victims of the dancing plague have been suffering from a bad batch of bread? The ergotism theory, while intriguing, has its critics. Some argue that the symptoms of ergot poisoning don't match perfectly with the accounts of the dancing plague. Then we have the theory of religious cult activities. In the Middle Ages, there were sects that used dance as a form of worship or penance. Followers of St. John and St. Vitus were known to dance in religious fervor, believing it would protect them from diseases. However, the cult theory doesn't explain why the dancing plague spread indiscriminately, affecting people of different social standings and religious affiliations. Each of these theories offers a piece of the puzzle, yet none fully explain the bizarre event. Mass hysteria, ergot poisoning, religious cults, all provide possible explanations, but each leaves questions unanswered. We're left to wonder, could there have been other factors at play? Could there be a darker, more sinister explanation lurking beneath the surface? None of these theories completely satisfy the mystery, leaving us to wonder what really happened. Fast forward to the 21st century, how do we interpret this bizarre event? Well, we've made significant strides in the realm of medical and psychological understanding since the 16th century, but this extraordinary event still leaves us scratching our heads. One of the more popular modern interpretations is the theory of stress-induced psychosis. This theory suggests that the inhabitants of Strasbourg were under severe psychological stress, resulting from high levels of poverty and famine. The stress became so overwhelming that it manifested in a mass hysteria of uncontrollable dancing. However, this interpretation does not entirely explain the physical endurance of the dancers. The human body is not designed to sustain such extreme levels of activity for prolonged periods, so another theory proposes the involvement of a psychoactive agent such as ergot fungus, which is known to cause hallucinations and erratic behavior. But again, this theory falls short as it cannot account for the specific coordinated dancing movements. Some scholars focus on the socio-political context of the time. They argue that societal pressures combined with the harsh realities of daily life led to an outbreak of a shared stress disorder. This theory presents the dancing plague as a form of rebellion against the oppressive structures of the time. The dance, in this case, is seen as a symbolic act, a desperate cry for change and liberation. Yet another interpretation points to a religious phenomenon. The dancers were reported to have danced in religious fervor, seeking divine intervention to free them from their sufferings. This theory resonates with the strong religious sentiments prevalent during the era. As we delve into these modern interpretations, we see a common thread: the intertwining of psychological distress and societal pressures. Whether it was a psychological reaction to extreme stress, a response to hallucinogenic substances, a symbolic rebellion, or a religious rite, the dancing plague certainly tells us that the human mind is a fascinating and complex entity. Even with our advanced understanding, the dancing plague remains largely unexplained. It is a testament to the mysteries of the human mind and the power of shared experiences. As we continue to unravel the past, we learn more about ourselves and the world we inhabit. Now, hold on to your hats as we venture into the realm of conspiracy theories. What if I told you that the dancing plague of 1518 was not a spontaneous event, but a carefully orchestrated experiment? Some suggest that authorities of the time, desperate for control over an unruly populace, conducted a psychological experiment on a grand scale. The idea was to create mass hysteria, to show the power of the ruling class, and to distract from the political issues of the day. The dance was not a fever, but a choreographed spectacle. Now, let's take this a step further. What if the strings of this grand puppet show were not pulled by the authorities of Strasbourg, but by beings from another world? Yes, you heard it right, extraterrestrial beings. Some theorists argue that the dancing plague was an alien influence, an attempt to study human behavior, or perhaps a failed attempt to communicate. These theories, although far-fetched, are not without precedent. Throughout history, unexplained phenomena have often been attributed to higher powers or beings from other worlds, and in the absence of concrete evidence, who's to say what's possible and what's not? These conspiracy theories, as wild as they may seem, are part of a broader discussion about the dancing plague. They challenge us to question the accepted narrative, to dig deeper into the past, and to keep an open mind about the mysteries of our world. And while we may never know the truth, the intrigue and the speculation adds to the allure of this strange event. It makes us wonder, speculate, and question. And isn't that the beauty of history? The fact that it's not just a record of the past, but a canvas for our imagination, a puzzle for our intellect, and a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and curiosities. These theories, though unproven, add an extra layer of intrigue to this historical event. So, what do you think caused the dancing plague of 1518? Peculiar as it may sound, this event has baffled historians and scientists for centuries. Was it a case of mass psychogenic illness, a product of stress and superstitious beliefs? Or was it ergot poisoning, a controversial theory suggesting that the affected individuals had consumed a hallucinogenic mold? Or perhaps was there a more nefarious plot at play, a conspiracy that has been kept hidden from the public eye? We've delved into the unusual occurrence, the rapid spread of this dancing fever, and the various theories that have been postulated over time. We've also looked at the conspiracy angle, the idea that this could have been an orchestrated event for reasons unknown. Each theory brings with it a sense of intrigue and curiosity, leaving us to question the very reality we live in. The dancing plague of 1518 serves as a reminder that history is filled with enigmas, puzzles waiting to be solved. It prompts us to challenge what we know and to never stop questioning. Your journey doesn't have to end here. There's a world of knowledge out there waiting for you to uncover its secrets. Use this as a springboard for your own research. Dive into the depths of this mystery and form your own conclusions. After all, isn't that what makes learning fun? Remember to comment your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing content. Until next time, keep questioning.